After my wife got promoted, she said, "You're replaceable. I don't need you anymore." I walked out and spent the next 6 months making sure she'd never forget it. Hey, Reddit. I, 37 male, work as a physician assistant at Metro General, pulling $145,000 a year now. Senior PA, hard earned. 5 years ago, I married Maris after dating through college. She did communications. I did pre-med before switching to PA track. Got married, moved into a 2-bedroom apartment, adopted King from the shelter. Standard middle-class success story. First couple years were solid. We had routines, inside jokes, actual conversations. The kind of marriage where you don't question if the other person has your back because it's just obvious. Then she got promoted to senior account manager at Apex Marketing. $73,000 to $98,000 overnight. Suddenly, she was nearly matching what I made, managing her own team, getting invited to strategy meetings with VPs. I was proud of her. Genuinely. Told her so multiple times. But after that promotion, she didn't just get busier. She got different. The pattern started fast and escalated in ways that made me feel crazy for noticing. Late nights turned into midnight arrivals, then 1 a.m., then later. Team bonding events became 4 nights a week minimum. Her phone became Fort Knox. Password changed from the one we'd shared for years to something new she never mentioned. Always kept face down on every surface. Took closed-door calls in the bedroom that lasted 40 minutes, where I'd hear her laugh through the door. That genuine, bright laugh she used to give me. She claimed it was work security policy, even though it was her personal phone, not the company device that sat unused on the kitchen counter, charging every night. Her phone started going completely dead multiple nights a week, not dying slowly with the low battery warnings, completely off for 7-hour stretches with zero communication. Every time I'd call, it wouldn't even ring, just went straight to voicemail like the phone was powered down entirely. Hotel charges appeared on our joint credit card. $178 at Morrison House, $203 at Chambers Hotel, $167 at the Metropolitan. Always boutique places downtown, the kind with bars on the first floor that cater to the after-work crowd. Always checked in around 9 or 10 p.m. on nights. She'd texted saying she was at work events. I cross-referenced those dates with the email calendar invites from her work that still came through to our shared account. None of those dates matched any scheduled client dinners or team events. Zero. When I'd ask about her day, I got nothing. Fine, busy, standard stuff. I'm tired. Every conversation followed the same script until I started feeling insane for expecting basic communication from my own wife. You're not jealous of someone's career. You're watching your marriage get swapped out in real time and being told you're controlling for noticing. Thursday night after a brutal 12-hour ER shift, I came home exhausted, found her on the couch scrolling through her phone with this little smile. The kind of smile that used to be for me. I sat down next to her. Tried to keep my voice neutral. I feel like we never talk anymore, like you're somewhere else even when you're right here. She looked up from her phone, expression shifting instantly to annoyed. Set it down, face down obviously, and turned to me with cold eyes. I'm working hard. Sorry if that's not exciting enough for you. I'm not complaining about your work. I'm saying I miss actual conversations with you. Maybe if you weren't so needy, we'd be fine. Needy for wanting to talk to my wife. The fights escalated from there. Every attempt at connection got met with accusations that I was suffocating her, that I couldn't handle her success, that I was threatened by her having her own life. I wasn't threatened. I was watching someone I loved turn into a stranger who treated basic respect like an unreasonable demand. She finally walked through the door at 3:47 a.m. I know the exact time because I'd been staring at my phone, watching the minutes tick by, genuinely about 5 minutes away from calling hospitals to see if any Jane Does had come through their emergency departments. She fumbled with her keys for what felt like a solid minute before managing to get the door open. Stumbled slightly getting through the doorway. Not falling down stumbling, but definitely the kind of unsteady that comes from having several drinks. Kicked off her heels in the entryway without even looking, just let them fall wherever they landed. Her hair was messed up in a way that didn't match being at a crowded bar. This was bedroom messy, hands running through it messy. Her lipstick was completely gone, not smudged, just completely gone like it had been kissed off hours ago. And there it was. Faint but visible hickey on her neck that she'd tried covering with her collar, but the collar had shifted during her stumbling entrance. I was sitting on the couch still fully dressed, phone in hand, laptop open with my spreadsheet pulled up on the screen. King was next to me, head on my lap, looking between me and her like he could sense the tension. Where were you? I kept my voice completely flat. No anger, no emotion, just asking a simple question. Out with the team. I told you that. Her words weren't slurred exactly, but they were careful. measured in a way that indicated she was putting effort into sounding sober. You said you'd be home around midnight. It's almost 4 in the morning. She dropped her purse on the kitchen counter with a heavy thud that made King's ears perk up. That ridiculous designer thing she'd bought right after the promotion. The one she'd casually mentioned cost around $3,000 like it was nothing. I could hear her keys jangle inside it, hear her phone fall against something. It's not like it's that late. Geez, it's barely 4. You couldn't text me once in the past 7 hours? Couldn't call? Your phone's been completely off. My battery died. I stood up slowly, set my phone down on the coffee table. Your battery died 7 hours ago, and you couldn't borrow someone's phone? Couldn't ask the bartender to use their phone for 30 seconds to send me a text? Couldn't find a charger anywhere in whatever place you were at? They have outlet extenders at every table these days? She spun around to face me, and I saw it clearly in her eyes. Not guilt, not embarrassment, not even the slightest hint of apology, just pure, undiluted irritation that I had the nerve to question her. Oh my God, here we go with the third-degree interrogation again. I'm not interrogating you. I stayed where I was, didn't move closer, kept my body language open and non-threatening. I'm asking why my wife disappeared for 7 hours straight with her phone off and absolutely zero communication. I was about to start calling hospitals to see if you'd been in an accident. That's so dramatic, Bram. Classic you, always overreacting to everything. Is it overreacting? You've been gone since 11 p.m. It's now 3:47 in the morning. Your phone wasn't just dying, it was completely off, not even ringing before going to voicemail. You didn't respond to a single text or call. What exactly was I supposed to think? That you were just having such a great time you forgot you had a husband at home? That I was having fun. Her voice went up significantly, echo in our small apartment loud enough that I was certain our neighbors could hear. That I was actually enjoying myself for once instead of coming home to this depressing nonsense every single night? To what? To your husband who's concerned about your safety? She laughed, and it was a sound I'd genuinely never heard from her before in 4 years of marriage. Sharp, bitter, mean, the kind of laugh that's designed to hurt. Concerned? Right. You mean controlling. You mean sitting here tracking my every move like some psycho stalker? How is wanting to know if you're alive and safe controlling? You always do this. She was fully yelling now, and King had retreated to the bedroom, tail tucked. You always make me feel guilty for having any kind of life outside of you. You sit here waiting for me like some pathetic, needy... She stopped herself mid-sentence, jaw clenching. Like some pathetic, needy what? I took one step closer. Go ahead. Finish that sentence. Tell me what you really think. Her jaw clenched so hard I could see the muscles working. You're suffocating me. Every single darn day it's, where are you? What are you doing? When are you coming home? Who are you with? I can't breathe around you anymore. I ask you those things because you're never here. Because you completely changed almost overnight when you got that promotion and you won't talk to me about what's actually going on with you. Nothing is going on. I'm working. I'm building an actual career. I'm finally doing something meaningful with my life. I'm sorry if that's not exciting enough for you. If watching your wife succeed makes you feel inadequate. She laughed again. That bitter, ugly sound. You know what, Bram? You're replaceable. I don't need you anymore. I've outgrown you. I've outgrown this apartment, this life, all of it. You're just furniture at this point. Something I inherited that doesn't match the new decor. The words hit like a sledgehammer to the chest. Replaceable. After everything. After 4 years of building a life together. Supporting her through every career setback, every late night, every I just need you to believe in me conversation. Replaceable. Something shifted in my brain, like a switch flipping from fight for this to document everything. The words came out before I could stop them, calm and direct. Is there someone else? The room went silent. She froze, face going white, then red. I can't believe you're accusing me right now. Yes or no. You don't own me, she spat. You don't get to interrogate me. I don't owe you anything. I stared at her. The woman I'd married wouldn't have said that. Wouldn't have looked at me like I was her enemy. You're right, I said quietly. I don't own you. She stared at me, breathing hard, waiting for me to keep fighting. So we're done here. For maybe 2 seconds, panic crossed her face. Then it hardened. Fine. Be done. See if I care. I need to take a shower, she said suddenly, voice tight. I'm exhausted, and I smell like cigarette smoke from the place, and I just want to wash this night off. We can continue this conversation later if you're still being dramatic. She grabbed her purse off the counter and stormed toward the bathroom. I heard the door slam, heard the lock click, heard the water start running a minute later. I stood there in the living room, adrenaline still pumping, trying to process what had just happened. King emerged from the bedroom, looking between me and the closed bathroom door like he was waiting for instructions. That's when I noticed her iPad on the coffee table. She'd left it there earlier in the evening, the one she used for work emails at home before she got the company laptop. Still logged into her Apple ID because she never bothered changing the settings. The screen was dark. I wasn't going to touch it. Wasn't going to snoop. That wasn't who I was. Then it lit up. That soft Apple chime in the quiet apartment. Notification preview. No password needed. No effort required. Just the universe being brutally, perfectly petty. Nathan, Apex. You good? You made it home? I stared at the screen. Stood there frozen for maybe 3 seconds. Then another notification appeared right underneath it. Timestamp showing 3:51 a.m. Nathan, Apex. Still thinking about earlier. That dress was trouble. Something in me just clicked off. Not anger. Just cold, surgical clarity. I picked up my phone with one hand, angled it at the iPad screen, and took a photo. Clear shot of both messages. Timestamp sitting right there at the top, like a prosecuting attorney's exhibit. The shower was still running. Still humming. I walked to the bedroom, grabbed my duffel from the closet, started packing. Clothes, toiletries, laptop, work badge, phone charger. Everything essential, methodical, clinical, like I was preparing for a disaster drill at the hospital. King watched from his bed in the corner, head tilted. Come on, buddy, I said quietly. We're leaving. I walked back to the kitchen to grab King's food container from the cabinet. That's when I heard it. This weird, ripping, tearing sound. Not loud, but persistent. Like fabric giving way under pressure. I turned around. King was standing by the counter where she'd dropped her purse. That ridiculous designer thing she'd bought right after the promotion. Some Italian brand she'd casually mentioned cost more than my monthly car payment. The Valentino, the status symbol she'd been so proud of. He had the strap in his mouth, not just holding it, actively shaking his head back and forth like he'd caught a rabbit. The leather was already torn halfway through, threads hanging loose. As I watched, he dropped the strap and grabbed the bottom corner of the bag, yanking hard enough that the whole thing fell off the counter and hit the floor with a heavy thud. Then he really went to work. 70-pound golden retriever with a vendetta. He grabbed the main panel and started pulling, teeth sinking into the leather, shaking his whole body. I heard stitching pop, saw the metal logo plate hanging loose. He switched angles, grabbed the side pocket, pulled until it tore completely off. The lining, that silk material she'd pointed out when she bought it, started coming out in white strips. I should have stopped him. I didn't. I just stood there watching my dog absolutely demolish a $3,000 handbag like it was a chew toy from Petco. He got the other strap, tore it clean off. Moved to the bottom panel. Started digging his teeth into the corners where the leather met the base. More stitching popped. The whole structural integrity was just gone. It wasn't even a purse anymore. It was leather confetti held together by wishful thinking and designer labels. King looked up at me, tail wagging, tongue hanging out. Pieces of Italian leather stuck to his teeth. The bag was absolutely destroyed. Not punctured, not damaged, completely annihilated. Good boy, I said. The shower turned off. I heard the water stop. Heard her moving around in the bathroom. Had maybe 90 seconds before she came out. I clipped King's leash on. Grabbed his food bag, his toys, his bed. Shoved everything I could carry into my duffel. My laptop. My phone charger. The photo ID from work. Grabbed my keys from the hook by the door. The bathroom door opened. Maris stepped out in her robe, hair wet, makeup washed off. She looked almost human again. Almost like the woman I'd married. Then she saw the bag. Or what used to be the bag. What the? She stopped mid-sentence. Stared. Walked slowly toward the carnage on the kitchen floor. What the heck happened to my Valentino? Her voice went up at the end, borderline shrieking. She dropped to her knees next to the destroyed leather, picking up pieces like she could somehow reassemble it. This cost $3,000! $3,000! King wagged his tail harder. Your dog destroyed my bag! She looked up at me, face red, eyes wide. Do you see this? He completely destroyed it. I looked at the shredded leather, looked at King, looked back at her, and I started laughing. Not a chuckle. Full, genuine, from the gut laughter. The kind that makes your shoulders shake. Are you kidding me right now? She screamed. You're laughing? Yeah. I managed between breaths. Yeah, I am. This bag cost? I know what it cost. You told me. Multiple times, like it made you important. She stood up fast, pieces of leather still in her hands. You need to pay for this. You need to replace this. Your dog destroyed my property. I wiped my eyes. The laughter died down, but the smile stayed. Nah, I'm good. You're... What? I'm leaving. Right now. With King. And you can keep the apartment, the shredded bag, and whatever you've been doing with Nathan from Apex. Her face went white. Actually drained of color in real time. How did you... Doesn't matter. We're done. Enjoy your life. I turned toward the door. King followed, tail still wagging, completely oblivious to the chaos he'd created. Bram, wait. I opened the door. You can't just leave like this. I looked back at her one last time, standing there in her bathrobe, wet hair dripping on the floor, holding pieces of her precious designer bag, face a mixture of panic and rage. Watch me. I left my key on the counter, didn't leave a note, didn't say another word. Just walked out with King, closed the door behind me, and headed to my truck. Behind me, I could hear her screaming, muffled through the door, but still clear enough, calling me names, demanding I come back, threatening legal action over the bag. I loaded King into the back seat. He immediately curled up, tongue still hanging out, looking proud of himself. I got in the driver's seat, started the engine. Lachlan lived 30 minutes away. Texted him. You up? Yeah. What's wrong? Can I crash at yours? I'll explain in person. Also, bring dog treats. King earned them. Doors unlocked. I pulled out of the parking lot. Didn't look back at the apartment. Didn't think about Maris standing there with her destroyed bag and her destroyed lies. Just drove. King in the back. Freedom in front of me. Best decision I ever made. I crashed on Lachlan's couch for 3 hours, then went to work. Did my full shift because patience needs you to be competent, regardless of your personal drama. During my lunch break, I handled the practical stuff. Pulled up the family phone plan on my laptop. I was the account holder. Had been since we got married because my credit score was better. Took me maybe 10 minutes to port my number out and cancel her line. Done. Next was the shared iCloud storage. 2 terabytes we'd been splitting for photos, documents, all her work files she claimed were so important. Changed the password, removed her access, downloaded the few photos of King I wanted to keep, deleted everything else. Streaming services took another 5 minutes. Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, Spotify Premium, all on my card, all accounts I'd set up years ago. Logged into each one, removed her profile, changed passwords. Amazon Prime was the same deal. Her precious free shipping and streaming? Gone. Gym membership was under my corporate discount through Metro General. Called them, had her removed from the family plan. Let her figure out her own $89 per month CrossFit obsession. The toll tag was petty, but satisfying. She'd been using my Easy Pass for her commute to Apex every day, probably racking up charges driving to whatever hotel Nathan was meeting her at. Reported it as lost, had them send a new one to Lachlan's address. The old one got deactivated immediately. Joint credit card was trickier, because my lawyer would need to handle it properly. But I called the bank anyway, explained I was separating from my wife, asked what I could do to protect myself. They suggested I could request she be removed as an authorized user, or I could freeze the account entirely pending legal proceedings. I froze it. Let her explain to Nathan why her card declined at their next team dinner. The whole thing took maybe 40 minutes. Clinical, methodical, like preparing a crash cart for a code blue. I logged everything in a new spreadsheet tab titled Asset Separation, with timestamps and confirmation numbers. Then I went back to work. Had 3 more patients to see before my shift ended. My phone blew up throughout the day. 23 missed calls by lunch. The text followed a pattern. First, where did you go? You're being ridiculous. Second, okay, you made your point. Come home so we can talk. Then around 2 p.m., the tone shifted. Did you seriously cancel my phone line? Are you kidding me right now? Followed by, Netflix isn't working. What did you do? And finally, after she'd clearly tried everything, you're so petty. This is exactly why we're done. Final text came through on a different number, probably borrowed from a coworker. Fine, whatever, see if I care. I didn't respond. By the end of the week, I'd found a studio closer to the hospital. Small, but mine. King approved. I filed for divorce 2 weeks later. Paid a lawyer $3,500 to draft everything airtight, had it served to her at work. 3 days after I moved out, I was grabbing coffee before my shift when I ran into Hazel, mutual friend from college, someone we'd both stayed close with over the years. She gave me this weird look, half sympathetic, half uncomfortable. Hey Bram, how are you holding up? I'm good. Why? I heard about the separation. Maris told me yesterday. I'm really sorry you guys are going through. Standard response. I nodded. Yeah, it's been rough, but we're handling it. She shifted her weight, looking like she wanted to say something, but wasn't sure if she should. Can I ask you something? And you can totally tell me it's none of my business. Sure. Are you doing okay? Like mentally? I stopped mid-reach for my coffee. What do you mean? Maris mentioned that you'd been struggling with some anxiety issues, that you'd been having trouble with her having her own life outside the marriage. She said she was worried about you, that she'd been trying to give you space to work through some stuff, but it wasn't helping. Every word hit me like a physical blow. I kept my face neutral through years of practice staying calm during medical emergencies, but inside I was running through exactly what she was doing. She said that. Yeah, she seemed really concerned. Said you'd been tracking her movements, interrogating her about where she was, getting upset when she went out with work friends. I just wanted to check in, make sure you're okay. I took a breath, thought very carefully about my next words. I appreciate you checking. I'm fine. The separation is mutual and we're both moving forward. Hazel looked relieved. Okay, good. I'm glad you're getting help if you need it. I didn't correct her, just took my coffee and left. Sat in my truck in the parking lot, coffee getting cold in my hand, processing what had just happened. She was building a narrative. She was telling people, our mutual friends, probably her family, possibly her coworkers, that I was the problem, that I was controlling, anxious, unstable, that she was the concerned wife trying to help her struggling husband. She was creating a shield, so that when everything came out, when people found out about the affair or the divorce or whatever other stuff was coming, she had a story already in place. She wasn't the cheating wife. She was the victim of a controlling, paranoid husband who couldn't handle her success. It was brilliant, and if I wasn't careful, it would work. So I built mine. The next morning, I went to work early. Before my shift started, I stopped by the administrative offices and asked to speak with the HR director I'd worked with when I got hired. She looked surprised to see me. Bram, everything okay? Can I have 5 minutes? It's personal, but it might affect work. She gestured to the chair across from her desk. I sat. I'm separating from my wife, I said. Direct, factual. We're getting divorced. I wanted to inform you because there may be some outside contact or rumors that could potentially reach the hospital. Her expression shifted to professional concern. I'm sorry to hear that. Is there a specific concern? My wife is telling people that I'm struggling with anxiety and control issues, that I've been having trouble with her independence. I want to be very clear, that's not accurate. We're separating because of her behavior, but she's creating a narrative to protect herself. I'm documenting everything through my lawyer, but I wanted you to be aware in case anyone contacts the hospital or if there are any attempts to make me look unstable. I kept my voice calm, measured. No emotion, just facts. She nodded slowly. I appreciate you bringing this to my attention. For the record, we've never had any concerns about your performance or mental state. You're one of our most reliable PAs. I know, and I want to keep it that way. I'm not asking for anything except that if something comes up, a call, an email, someone asking questions about me, you're aware of the context. Understood. I'll make a note in your file that you came in to discuss a personal situation that may generate external inquiries, completely confidential, just so we have documentation. That's all I need. Thank you. I stood up, shook her hand, and left. 15 minutes. That's all it took. But now, if Maris or anyone tried to paint me as unstable to my employer, there was a contemporaneous record of me proactively addressing the situation like a rational adult. Not because I was paranoid, because I was paying attention. I started documenting everything with the same clinical precision I used for patient charts. Created a spreadsheet, dates, times, what she told me versus what the credit card statements showed, hotel charges cross-referenced against her work calendar, text timestamps showing hours of communication blackout. Not a diary, a case file. Evidence that could hold up under scrutiny. That photo from the iPad? I added it to the file immediately. 11:14 p.m. Left on read after love you text. 3:47 a.m. Arrives home claiming battery died. 3:48 a.m. Nathan, Apex texts. You good? You made it home? 3:51 a.m. Nathan, Apex texts. Still thinking about earlier. That dress was trouble. Made the whole my phone died excuse look extra stupid. Documented proof she had communication available the entire time. Every late night got logged. Every team bonding event got verified against actual charges. Every phone dead excuse got documented alongside the pattern of when it happened. I wasn't being paranoid. I was being methodical. My buddy Lachlan had told me straight up when this all started. Don't let her gaslight you into thinking you're crazy. Women are experts at that. Trust your gut, document everything, and protect yourself. That's exactly what I was doing. But I still didn't know who Nathan was for sure. Just a first name and Apex in the contact info. 2 months after filing for divorce, I was grabbing lunch at this sandwich shop near one of the hospitals I covered. Sat down with my usual Turkey Club, black coffee, and opened my laptop to review some patient charts. Then I heard her laugh. That specific, genuine laugh. The one she'd stopped giving me. Looked up. She was 3 tables away with this guy. Not just sitting together, sitting close. His hand on her lower back, her leaning into him, both smiling like they were the only people in the room. I pulled out my phone, switched to camera, took 3 clear photos. Perfect angle, both faces visible, his hand on her, The way they were sitting way too close for professional colleagues. Maris saw me mid-laugh. Her face went white. I stood up, grabbed my sandwich, gave them both a little two-finger salute, and walked out. Didn't say a word. The look on her face said everything. That night, I did some digging. Checked her LinkedIn. Saw she'd recently connected with several new people from Apex Marketing. One stood out, Nathan, VP of Client Relations, mid-40s, drove a Tesla he probably leased to look successful. I remembered him vaguely from a company holiday party 2 years ago. Corporate sleaze who wouldn't shut up about his investment portfolio. Cross-reference dates. Her promotion to senior account manager happened right around when this guy got hired as VP. She reported directly to him. Interesting timing. Nathan was still married. Very married. Wife named Leandra who ran some mommy blog about their perfect family life. 3 kids. Carefully curated social media posts about date nights with her amazing husband. Yeah, amazing. I also discovered something interesting about Apex Marketing's employee handbook. They had a strict ethics policy about supervisor-subordinate relationships. Any relationship between a manager and direct report had to be disclosed to HR within 30 days, or it was grounds for immediate termination. Both parties. Maris reported directly to Nathan. They definitely hadn't disclosed anything. I saved everything. The photos, the ethics policy, screenshots of Nathan's very much married status, Maris's promotion timeline showing she got senior account manager right when Nathan started. Then I waited, not out of kindness. I waited because I wanted the divorce finalized first, wanted my name legally separated from hers before I burned down her world. She called immediately after being served. I answered, "Are you kidding me? Nope. You're divorcing me? Over one fight? Over 9 months of you disappearing. Over you treating me like the problem for giving a darn. Over whatever you've been doing that you won't talk about. I haven't been doing anything." Then explain the hotel charges, the ones that don't match any work trips you mentioned. Silence. "Yeah," I said. "That's what I thought. You went through my accounts? Joint accounts. And yeah, I documented everything. Timestamps, locations, charges. Got it all saved. You had no right. I had every right. We're married. We're married. Past tense now. If you do this, we're done forever." That's literally the point of divorce. You'll regret this when you're alone and realize you threw away 5 years over nothing. Maybe, but I'll regret staying more. I hung up. She called back 6 times. I blocked her. The divorce moved fast. She didn't contest it, probably because fighting meant discovery. And discovery meant all those hotel receipts becoming public record. And that iPad screenshot showing Nathan's messages at 3:51 a.m. while she claimed her battery was dead. We split everything clean. She kept the apartment lease, I took King and my personal stuff. Legally separated within 4 months. Divorce finalized 6 months after I filed. Day after it was final, I got an email from her. "I hope you're happy. I hope destroying my life was worth it." I almost laughed. Destroying her life? I hadn't even started. The reckoning. I gave it 2 more weeks, let her think she'd gotten away clean. Then I sent an anonymous email to Apex Marketing's HR ethics hotline. Subject: ethics violation. Undisclosed relationship between VP and direct report. Body text was simple and factual. No emotion, just evidence. Attached photos from the sandwich shop clearly showing Maris Hayes and Nathan in a non-professional setting. Attached hotel receipts from our joint credit card showing charges at Morrison House, Chambers Hotel, and the Metropolitan on dates with no corresponding work events on her calendar. Attached Maris's promotion timeline showing she received senior account manager position within weeks of Nathan's hiring as her direct supervisor. Noted the company's ethics policy requiring disclosure within 30 days. Noted neither party had filed the required disclosure with HR. Sent it. Sat back. Waited. Nothing happened for 3 weeks. I started to wonder if the report got buried. If HR just didn't give a darn. If I'd miscalculated. Then Lachlan texted me on a Wednesday. "You hear about your ex?" "No." "What happened?" "She's gone. So's her boss. Whole thing came down yesterday." Lachlan called instead of texting. "My girlfriend's friend works at Apex," he said. "Apparently, someone reported them for an undisclosed relationship. HR launched an investigation, took like 6 weeks. Pulled expense reports, interviewed people, locked down emails, found enough evidence that they put Maris on leave 2 weeks ago while they finished up. Then yesterday, they fired both of them." "Both of them?" "Yeah. Ethics violation. The guy, Nathan, he didn't get fired exactly. He resigned before they could terminate him. Golden parachute type deal. But Maris got straight up terminated. No severance, nothing." I sat with that for a second. Not the clean simultaneous firing I'd imagined, but close enough. "You wouldn't know anything about that report, would you?" Lachlan asked. "Why would I?" Because you're the only person I know who'd wait until a divorce was finalized to drop the hammer. Can't prove anything, Lachlan laughed. Didn't think so. For what it's worth, good. She had it coming. Over the next few weeks, I heard more through the grapevine. Nathan's wife, Leandra, filed for divorce the week after he resigned. She'd found out about the affair when Apex's legal team contacted her during their investigation, which basically handed her lawyer a pre-sorted evidence folder. He didn't get destroyed by some dramatic courtroom moment. He got squeezed in settlement, because once the receipts are real and public, you stop negotiating from a position of strength. The deal hit him hard. House went to Leandra and the kids. Retirement accounts got split, but she took the lion's share because he had zero leverage once the affair was documented. Cars, savings, investments, gone. He went from VP pulling close to $300,000 to unemployed and significantly broke within 3 months. Not the immediate nuclear explosion I'd envisioned, but a slow-motion car crash that was almost more satisfying. Maris's situation wasn't much better. Getting terminated for ethics violations meant she couldn't just slide into another marketing gig. That stuff follows you. Companies talk. HR departments check references thoroughly. When your last employer fires you for getting involved with your married boss, it doesn't look great on applications. Lachlan's girlfriend kept me updated on Maris through mutual friends. She'd applied to dozens of marketing positions over 4 months. Got maybe 3 interviews. All of them ended the same way. Background check, reference check with Apex, rejection email. She ended up taking a retail position at Nordstrom, sales associate, making around $38,000 a year plus commission. From senior account manager at $98,000 to folding sweaters for rich housewives who didn't remember her name. I didn't gloat, didn't reach out, didn't even think about her most days. Just kept working, kept banking money, kept moving forward. The divorce cost me almost $7,000 in legal fees and set back my house plans. Started in a basic studio, worked every shift I could get, and dealt with the emotional fallout of watching my marriage implode. Eventually got promoted to senior PA, $118,000 to $145,000. And by year 3, I'd bought a house with a yard for King. The hardest part wasn't missing her. It was unlearning all the gaslighting, learning to trust my gut again, learning that expecting basic respect wasn't controlling. Took time, but I got there. No more wondering where someone was at 3 a.m. No more checking my phone constantly. Just peace. 26 months after I walked out, I was grabbing lunch at this Vietnamese place downtown between shifts. Been up since 4 a.m. covering an emergency trauma case. Starving, exhausted, just wanted pho and 30 minutes of quiet. Walked in and immediately spotted her. Maris, sitting alone at a table by the window, picking at some salad, looking rough. Hair in a messy bun, no makeup, wearing jeans and a hoodie. Complete opposite of the designer suit-wearing woman I'd married. She saw me the same second, froze with her fork halfway to her mouth. I could have left, could have walked out, avoided the whole thing. I grabbed my usual table on the opposite side of the restaurant. Ordered. Pulled out my phone. Pretended she didn't exist. But she stood up. Walked over. Bram. Maris. She stood there, awkward, shifting her weight. Can I sit? It's a free country. She sat down across from me. Up close, she looked even worse. Tired. Older. How have you been? She asked. Good. You? Managing. Silence. I didn't fill it. Look, I know this is weird, but I wanted to say I'm sorry. For everything. For how I treated you. For the lying. The cheating. All of it. I looked up from my phone. Studied her face. The way she was sitting. Leaning in slightly. Making eye contact. Voice soft and sincere. The apology sounded genuine enough on the surface. But I'd spent 2 years learning how to read people who were trying to manipulate me, and I recognized the pattern. This wasn't closure. This was fishing. She wanted to see if I'd admit anything. Wanted me to say something. Anything she could use. Maybe she was still trying to salvage her reputation. Maybe she wanted leverage for something. Maybe she just needed confirmation that I was the one who destroyed her career, so she could finally have someone to blame besides herself. Okay, I said. That's it? Just okay? What do you want me to say? That I forgive you? That it's all water under the bridge? I don't know. Something. I set my phone down, looked at her directly. I reported you, I said. Voice flat. Matter of fact, she went pale. What? The email to Apex HR. The photos, the hotel receipts, the ethics violation? That was me. Sent it 2 weeks after the divorce finalized. Complete silence. She just stared. She couldn't finish. Yeah, me. She stood up fast, chair scraping loud. Face going from pale to red in seconds. You're a piece of work. Maybe. You destroyed my entire career. You did that. I just provided documentation. Her hands were shaking. I could see her trying to figure out if this was admissible somehow, if she could use it, if there was any angle she could work. There wasn't. You know what? She said, voice tight. I hope you're miserable. I hope you die alone in that house with nobody who gives a darn about you. I picked my phone back up, started scrolling. You done? I asked. She left, didn't look back. My food came 2 minutes later. I ate slowly, checking patient notes between bites. The PO was good. The broth had the right amount of star anise, finished eating, paid, walked back to my truck. King was waiting at home.